Hit that subscribe button, guys, for the latest in boxing. Deontay Wilder seems to be a serious puncher, but he's for boxing skills or boxing technique. There is a lot of room and loopholes to outbox him and to knock him out as well. As you can see that when he gets hit, he is in trouble. He doesn't have a really good chin and he can be hit. There is no reason why he shouldn't take a fight with me. I am offering him a career high purse and it is going to be a good fight. We are going to fill arenas. He has struggled to fill arenas in his hometown. I am not world champion, but I packed out the O2. So that is what the body snatcher, Dillian Whyte, had to say. He was talking about several things in this piece. He was talking about the fact that Wilder can't even fill an arena up in his hometown. And he was talking about that even though he's not a champion, he has a bigger fan base than Deontay Wilder because at the O2 he packed out arenas. He's also talking about that, this will be Deontay Wilder's biggest purse in his entire career to date, which it will, because he's never made $4 million in his career. And he's also talking about the fact that he thinks that Deontay Wilder is a serious puncher, but that I guess what he means when he says he doesn't respect boxing skills is that because he looks so amateurish. I guess what Dillian Whyte feels is that Deontay Wilder just has no respect for the technical side of boxing. The technical side of boxing. And that's why you see him swing wildly. The thing is with Deontay Wilder is, I think Deontay Wilder is one of those guys that, because he was just one of those guys that just think that he will never be a guy that has proper technique. I don't think we're ever going to see Deontay Wilder being able to throw the perfect left hook. But I think what the problem with a lot of boxing fans and even boxers, professional boxers, and a lot of people, quote unquote boxing gurus, is a lot of times they just look at the fact that Wilder, they always look at the negative sides of Wilder, the bad qualities of him. They see the fact that he has very poor technique, but they never look at the positive. And I think that's a big issue, is that they focus too much on the bad qualities of him as a fighter. They see him and they see that, the way he leaps out with his head up, leaving himself exposed. But they don't see the fact that he has phenomenal endurance, better than 90% of heavyweights out here. They don't see the fact that he knows how to throw proper straight right hands. That's how he's knocked out several of his opponents. It was because he was able to throw these straight right hands down the pipe. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the fact that he is very mean and he's very determined. I've never seen Deontay Wilder give up on a fight. I've seen Deontay Wilder get outboxed. I've seen Deontay Wilder being clowned in the ring. I've seen guys clowning Wilder, but I've never saw Deontay Wilder let that affect him mentally. I've never saw Deontay Wilder mentally break down or just... For example, there's some fighters out there that when a guy's schooling them, he's outboxing them, the guy literally mentally breaks down. I mean, even Guillermo, you look at Guillermo Rigondeaux. Guillermo Rigondeaux is way more skillful than Deontay Wilder. Way more skillful. But, right in terms of skill set, he's a much better talent than Deontay Wilder will ever be. But when he was getting outboxed against Vasily Lomachenko, and you saw Vasily Lomachenko sticking his tongue out at Guillermo Rigondeaux. Vasily Lomachenko was embarrassing Guillermo Rigondeaux. Guillermo Rigondeaux was so embarrassed that he quit. Right? He couldn't believe that he couldn't even win a round against Vasily Lomachenko, that he literally quit. Now, if that was Deontay Wilder in there, Deontay Wilder wouldn't have not quit. He would have continued to try and land that right hand. That's one thing I Another thing that I think people underestimate about Wilder is his confidence. If you look at this fight against Luis Ortiz, right, when he was fighting Luis Ortiz earlier this month, he was in there with a much better talent, and he was losing a lot of rounds, several rounds against Luis Ortiz. But look at the expression on his face. He never looked like a guy who was defeated the way Guillermo Rigondeaux looked against Vasily Lomachenko. He knew in the back of his head that he could land on Luis Ortiz, and he was able to land. Something about Dillian Whyte that he said that he seems to be a serious puncher, and he does. Every fighter has flaws. Dillian Whyte says that Wilder can be outboxed, Wilder can be knocked out. Yeah, but so can he. Dillian Whyte is very hittable, and he could also be knocked out. And he's also a sitting duck for Wilder's right hand, because he was a sitting duck for Robert Helenius' right hand. He was a sitting duck for Anthony Joshua's right hand. So he would be a sitting duck for Wilder's right hand as well, who in my opinion is faster than both of those guys. Dillian Whyte has loopholes in his game as well. For example, he doesn't know how to cut the ring off when a guy's outboxing him. So, Wilder, in my opinion, has faster footwork than Dillian Whyte. And here is Dillian Whyte criticizing Wilder's flaws as a fighter. But, like say Wilder decided to fight on the back foot against Dillian Whyte the way Robert Helenius did. But unlike Robert Helenius, he's actually fighting back. The fact that Dillian Whyte has an issue with fighters who are mobile, that would be a massive problem for Dillian Whyte. I could easily see Dillian Whyte being frustrated in there. But I don't think Wilder would even attempt to outbox Dillian Whyte, because Dillian Whyte is a guy who's going to be standing right in front of Deontay Wilder. They're going to probably be playing like chess. And it's going to be a matter of who lands first. And the fact that Wilder is much more athletic than Dillian Whyte, and he's way faster in my opinion, he's probably going to land first. I'm not saying Dillian Whyte can't land on Wilder. He definitely can land on him. And he definitely can't hurt him. But I feel that Wilder, being the faster guy, will probably be able to land first than Dillian Whyte. And, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they look at the Lucas Browne fight, and of course now they believe that Dillian Whyte would defeat Deontay Wilder. But people need to realize that Lucas Browne was a shot fighter who had no ambition, who was standing right in front of Dillian Whyte. He was just standing there like a punching bag. Literally a punching bag. Letting Dillian Whyte tee off on him. Lucas Browne made Dillian Whyte look good, because he wasn't even trying. He was just a human punching bag. He went there for a payday. I'm not fooled by Dillian Whyte. I saw Robert Helenius give Dillian Whyte trouble with movement just a couple of months ago. Deontay Wilder is no Lucas Browne. Deontay Wilder is a much better fighter than Lucas Browne. He's a much superior fighter. He's in his prime. He's way faster, and he has something called ambition. He's actually trying to win. But I really want to see these two fight. I want to see these two titans fight, because I want this whole idea that Wilder afraid of Dillian Whyte to be put to rest. And the only way that's going to be put to rest is if Wilder faces Dillian Whyte. I think it's a good fight for Wilder stylistically. Again, when I look at fighters, I look at styles. Luis Ortiz is a better fighter than Dillian Whyte, in my opinion. He's a much better fighter. He's a much more accurate fighter. And you saw what happened when Wilder fought Luis Ortiz. It was a tough fight, but Wilder was able to come through. Wilder was able to hurt Luis Ortiz. I think it's going to be easier for Deontay Wilder to be able to compete with someone like Dillian Whyte, because, like I said, I think Dillian Whyte is a lesser talent than Luis Ortiz. Put Luis Ortiz in there against Dillian Whyte, you know, 2 nights ago when he fought Lucas Brown, and it would have been a whole different outcome. You would have been seeing Dillian Whyte getting lit up. I'm not saying Dillian Whyte couldn't have won, but I'm saying you would have been seeing him get lit up. Styles make fights, people. And Deontay Wilder's no Lucas Brown. Hopefully these two men fight. That's all I have to say. As always, if you watched the video from start to finish, much appreciated. Much appreciated. And subscribe for daily boxing videos. Guys, I'm out.